Hey, it's America's Supermom. Thank you for joining me on my podcast. This series is the Corona Chronicles. I created this so that we would have an outlet of positivity in the midst of a lot of negativity. You know what I'm talking about. All the news, the fear around this virus, how it can affect us, what the new normal is looking like, and how so many things have changed that a lot of people feel like um, it is the end of the world, so to speak. So, this podcast was created so that those of us who have hope, who are willing to move forward with this new normal and innovate new things that will help us to be creative and positive. That is what this platform is for us to come together and share that positivity and that light with those who may need it. So if you're interested in sharing your insight, please reach out because we can never have enough positive news. So sit back and enjoy the show.
I want to thank you guys for listening today. I am really excited about my next guest. She and I connected organically through Facebook. We are actually in a Facebook group together, and we have not met before. And these are the ones that I really think are the most fun, is being able to connect with like-minded people who are on this journey of moving forward and just being a place, being people of encouragement, especially during a time like right now. So, without further ado, I'm going to allow Leslie, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name.
It's nice. It's okay.
I will let her do that, and we are excited to hear from Leslie, and we will get into our interview.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. So my name is Leslie, and my last name is Neiditz.
Okay.
So that's how you pronounce the last name. And just a quick bit about me. I am a Connecticut resident. I have two children, married for 20-something years. Originally started my professional life as an attorney, as a litigator.
Mm-hmm.
In New York. I'm from New York originally. Went to law school in Boston and then worked as a litigator in New York. My husband is from Connecticut, so I ended up outside the Hartford area and transitioned from practicing law to legal recruiting. And then once I had kids, who my oldest is 20 and then my younger one is 15, I transitioned into being an entrepreneur. And so that's what I do now. I have an online business, and it's in the health and wellness industry. And then I'm also in the mindset, personal development field as well. And so I, work from home and online, virtually, and I'm all about empowering, lifting, working with women to move forward and up in the world.
I love that. And so this is really an interesting turn of events here to see how you move from attorney to, where you are now. So talk to the audience about, that's like a major shift. And so for some people, they're in that space right now with, everything moving from face to face to being virtual, or maybe their industry, they had a restaurant and now the restaurant, it's looking different. So for somebody that's making a major shift, in their career, what advice would you give them?
Wow, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're all doing that to some degree, right? On different scales in our lives. Almost every aspect of our lives is requiring us to shift, pivot, reinvent. So I feel like my life has been a series of pivots. Some were forced against me. This is really a situation that we're all in where it's happening to us, or maybe it's happening for us, depending on how you view the world and life.
Right.
But it's external factors, not something you chose necessarily. So we're
Right.
responding. And then there's the situation where you do some introspection or self-reflecting and decide that you want to pivot. So those are two different scenarios, right? So, but I think in terms of where we are now, it's really just, I think a lot has to do with the mindset and how you approach it. Do you feel like you're a victim? Do you feel like this is happening to you? And taking that approach, I think it's a hard approach. It's a hard space to be in because it's hard to transition, because you could get stuck in this is happening to me, and you're not exploring, okay, what now, right? So I think part of it is wrapping your mind around it is what it is, accepting the circumstances, and taking stock and inventory, and perhaps, and I feel this is the best way to do it, is to say, what can I do? What's the silver lining here? What are the things that I've always wanted to do? Does this create any opportunities for me? Can I see this from different perspectives? Can I brainstorm? Can I, so I think a lot of it has it's a shift in perspective and mindset. If you could do that, then you can start to move forward in a different way. So that has to come first, because you really can't move or take steps if you're stuck in, this is not fair, the world's horrible, why did this happen? So that's the way I approach it. Once you do that, then things can open up. And I'm not saying it's easy or that it's very difficult. And I agree, it's not fair. There are lots of people who are struggling, and I feel bad about that. But I guess you don't have a choice. Well, you have a choice. Right. Do you want to stay where you are? Or do you move forward?
So true. Yeah. And this is true. So, just as a parent, you have a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old. What has it been like, being a parent with this quarantine? And are you guys still locked down to some extent, or what's the climate there in Connecticut?
Yes. I mean, certain things have opened up, like where I think we're on phase 2, in terms of what we're opening up. But it's me personally, we're not running out to I I know some people feel like, okay, things are opening up. Let's go out to dinner. Let's do whatever. I believe I'm approaching that with more caution. So we're all working from home. My husband too. He has his own business as well. I mean, the beauty is I have a business where I can work from home, and I've been working from home. So I feel lucky in that sense. My husband too. That's not to say it's not impacting us. My kids both are working from home. My son just finished his sophomore year. My daughter is a freshman in high school. I think it's hardest for her because she doesn't have that social aspect of school, and she's not stimulated enough. I think it's hardest for her. I think as parents, we're willing to suffer for our children. We're willing to put our needs on the back burner. And I mean, to me, I can endure a lot, but my kids, I'm a fighter for my kids. And so I feel it's hardest for her. And then my son, it's not as, stimulating either. I mean, he was focused on school, but now that he's done, it's super boring. His summer job was canceled. He was working at a camp. So now we have to figure out, what can he do? And so he has some opportunities to work through virtually, which would be fantastic, but it still doesn't solve the problem of correlation, connecting with other folks his age. And I
Right.
mean, I think that's really what's most important at that age. It's the social connection. I'm not
Mhm.
concerned as much
So
about
true.
school, about how, I mean, I'm not so worried if the education is the same or if they miss stuff. And I just don't think it's as important. They'll get enough with that aspect.
Right.
You know,
So true.
it'll all work out in the end. But I think the mental, spiritual stuff, the mental health stuff is the most important stuff for them. So
Yeah.
we've gotten
So
yeah, we've gotten creative. My daughter, for her, every week she has a group of friends, and they get together somewhere different each week, a park, someone's house, and hang out together, social distance, but at least have some sort of connection every week. My
mm,
son, with college friends, they get on every night or every other night, and they do some sort of like, maybe they'll watch a movie together or they'll play. There are lots of really cool games that you can play through Zoom.
mhm.
So it gives them that connection. It's not
Mhm.
the same as in person, but they're doing something, you know?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm. I love
yeah.
that.
And then I do that with my family
Mhm.
too. I have three sisters. My husband has two sisters. So every week, my family gets together with all their kids, and we get
Mhm.
together. And each week, someone hosts it, and we do something that's very interactive, a lot of fun, a lot of laughing. It could be a competition, a game, a challenge, and so we do
Mm.
that every single week, and it's super fun.
That's good. And I think you brought up a good point because sometimes we can get so lost in the news and what's going on that that element of having that security and seeing family and having that connection, whether it's virtual or not, just has a great way of keeping
Get
you
grounded,
centered.
connected,
Yeah.
familiarity. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I'm encouraging them
Mhm.
to do that, to reach out. The other thing that we're doing is just exploring things like in nature. So we're not in, thank God we're in the weather's getting nice. And so going on
Mhm.
different hikes and seeing different things that are part of our local area that we could spend time as a family, get some exercise, be outside in nature, and go to different places, hikes, waterfalls,
Mhm.
um, little mountain climbing, nothing crazy, just
Mm.
so that we're doing something different, exploring
Mhm.
takeout food, but in a way that's kind of fun, rating our favorite, like we'll just explore every single Japanese restaurant, and then kind of you know,
Oh.
look at food as in a different way. I mean, yes, to fuel us, but just to sort of
Mhm.
say, okay, let's figure out what's the best pizza in the area.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then doing projects that we've maybe put on the back burner. You know, in the
Right.
house, started a garden. Kids cleaning out the basement. Okay, maybe that's not fun for them, but it's something I want to do. I don't think they're too pleased about that, but oh well.
I know it's so funny, but even you'd be surprised. Sometimes, one of my daughters, she went through and was cleaning out the silverware
Wow.
drawers and reorganizing the pantry. So I was like, hey, whatever you're doing,
That
keep it
she can come
up.
over.
So
I'd be
sometimes,
happy
I
to have her.
know. Isn't that right? I
That's so
know that's
sweet.
true. So that's some great insight. Now, so going back to your
Mm,
prior career with
yeah,
being an attorney and the things that you did with that, it would be great for the audience,
yeah,
maybe. There are a lot of people with the
yeah.
current events that are going on. What advice would you give them from a legal standpoint on some options that they might explore in dealing with some of these differences of opinions or, just coming from it with a more engaging way that moves the ball forward, I guess would be, if you
Yeah,
understand the
maybe I need a
question.
little more clarification. So,
Okay, so we have people that are polar opposites, I think, with some of their beliefs with
Oh,
the current events
mhm.
of what's going on with these
Oh yeah,
racial situations
yeah.
that are everywhere. So for people who may be struggling with this, on either side of the fence, what is some ways that they can move forward and, that just kind of is more outcome
Hmm.
oriented, I would say, because coming from a legal aspect, that's totally different than just being emotional. You know what I mean? It's kind of more strategic. So, how would you advise them to move forward strategically? I
I mean,
guess
I
would
think,
be a better question.
um, I mean, I'm still not sure, like, if you want legal perspective, but I mean, I think that what's going on is, we're in like one of the biggest movements in history right now.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's any like legal perspective, but I think that this could be a great opportunity for people in terms of um, how to, I think lots of opportunities are going to open up for people. I think as horrible it is right now in terms of
Mhm.
how we feel, and how sad we've been because we
Mhm.
feel, and I don't know, everyone has different perspective. I think that I try not to like be on the news and the media too much, that it could be heart
Right.
wrenching. I definitely have my own
Mhm.
opinion about things. And,
Mhm.
as you could see, people have a lot of different opinions about this, like
Right.
whether there's, is the rioting, it's wrong? Is it, you know, um, do they feel like all lives matter? Something I see a lot of that too.
Right.
I opt if I can't have a constructive conversation with someone and an intelligent conversation where two parties are listening, then I just kind of opt out because I feel like it's so
Yeah.
destructive. And I'm willing to
Right.
talk to someone if I can have an intelligent conversation and someone's not trying to ram their opinion about down my throat. But most of it is
Right.
really, if you have to sort of like detach and like take a step back and just listen without having it put your heart in it. Just listen, but I think it's really
Right.
hard to do that when you're doing listening to social media. I I
So
think
true.
for me, like what I'm doing is doing my best to connect with people with different racial backgrounds, finding out
Mhm.
like what I can do as a white person living in a very diverse world. Like, what can I
Mhm.
do, right, to
Right.
expand um, my knowledge, um,
Mhm.
teach my kids, right? What can I
Mhm.
do in the world that I'm living in so I don't know if that answers your question, but it's definitely certainly how I feel right now. Um,
What?
of like a
Yeah.
strategy just for
Mhm.
coping, because I think was it enough that we have a pandemic and now we are, like
I
well, it
know.
just created a situation, in my opinion, right for people to already be stressed out, that you add this and it
Yeah.
was just like a perfect situation. Perfect meaning it's no surprise that people
Right.
this led to the situation because we were already like just anxious enough, pissed off enough.
Right.
And for people who,
Mhm.
especially and I don't know how you feel, but there are different terms, the Black community or the, people of color community, people are struggling with
Mhm.
jobs, etc. Now this, it's like
Right.
we were suffering
Right.
enough. Do we need another reason to feel that we don't have opportunities? Um, the whole rioting thing, if you want me to just give my personal opinion, I feel like,
Mhm.
you know, uh, if I have been a part of a culture where for 400 years of being oppressed, I might just do crazy things. Do you know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
you know what it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, I just feel for people. That's what I do. I feel for
Yeah.
people, but then I feel for business owners who, like, you know, are on the receiving end of rage, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we're all struggling and we're all hurting. And the truth is, most people don't want that. Some people don't want to,
Right.
you know, but I think in the end, if we sat down, we'd probably find more commonality and really that we want the same
Mhm.
things. But um, so I'm just sad. But honestly, the truth is, I'm really happy that so many people are coming together. Like, I feel like more people than not
Yeah.
really do agree right now. And it only takes a few bad eggs to ruin it
Mhm.
for everybody else, right?
Mhm.
So don't get focused
Yeah.
on the people who are just destroying property, you know, and don't get focused on that. Focus on,
Mhm.
like, what good is going to come out of this. Because I really do believe that so many good things are coming out of it and will come out of it. So we have to look at it as like, this is the opportunity. Everyone's listening now. The world is listening. Did you see that there are protests around the world? Every single country
Right.
is protesting for something that's happening in
Mhm.
America. Like, that to me is so heartwarming. Like, that touches me in the greatest
Mhm.
way. The other
Mhm.
thing, and I had a thought, which I can't think of right now. It suddenly escaped me. I'm saddened that there are these fringe groups on both the left and the right who are coming out and ruining it for
Mhm.
everyone for the Black Lives Matter cause, that are just coming out and stirring
Mhm.
the pot and coming out and looting,
Yeah.
because I really don't feel that this is just a feeling. I don't have anything to support this. Well, I do have stuff to support this, but it's my personal opinion that these groups
Mhm.
are ruining it for this amazing cause, Black Lives Matter. So that's
Yeah.
my opinion about it. And
Yeah.
they're making it they're making it political when this whole thing is not political. It's a human issue. So
Oh yeah.
that's my, that's the
Mhm.
side for me. But at least hopefully that we
Mhm.
can expose it and see it for what it is. And I hope that makes some sort of,
Mhm. Yeah, it does, and because I think, sometimes
right,
we can be so emotional about things that we don't have the
right,
logical component. You know what I mean? So it's like I could be in pain and then I
right.
could do a
Yeah.
protest or a riot. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I can respond either way. So I think, really a lot of times, and it could just be an issue with how do you, maybe some
Mm,
things that people could practice to be more
right,
proactive in response to it may not be
right.
this issue, and I'm not trying to minimize it,
Yeah.
but, from a legal standpoint, to kind of remember how do you
Hmm.
respond to certain things
Yeah.
uh, tactically to minimize, more of a out
Yeah.
things getting out of control.
I do
I guess is
think
the
because
best way. You know what
as
I
an
mean?
attorney. One thing we really learn to do is to see things
Mhm.
from different perspectives. The biggest thing is we become very analytical, and so that's been really helpful for me in being less emotional and more intellectual about it, and being
Mhm.
able to, like, not put myself in it, but just seeing it from all
Mhm.
different angles and sides. And so that's one aspect. But so that's something that I just, that was like a benefit that I realized, like, wow, like that's an incredible thing, because I can be detached emotionally, because that's part of the job. But also, like, I have a lot
Mhm.
of different tools, exercises that I've learned over the years, and more recently through a course that I've been taking called the Avatar. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Have you heard of it before? Okay.
Mhm.
I'll give you information about this, but
Haven't heard of it.
it's
No.
a phenomenal course in terms of giving you actual concrete exercises that you can practice to help you approach the world with a little more compassion and mindfulness. And so I have to tell you that that's been instrumental in helping me stay very grounded and just stay grounded and also be compassionate. In fact, if you look at my Facebook wall,
Right.
I posted a couple of days ago something called the compassion exercise, and I can send you in the mail an actual hard copy of this, but it's really about it's an actual exercise that you could do that's going to help you give you a more personal sense of peace. And the exercise really, what it does is it gives you the ability to look at people, someone who you may not even agree with, and look at them with more compassion and understanding rather than anger and hate. And so, so you can apply that to an individual, you could apply that to a group of people, you can you can apply it to personal leaders. Now, no one knows you're doing it. You're doing this to yourself, but it's incredible.
Right,
and the response that I'm getting by sharing this with people is wonderful. So I think if anyone who's listening to this wants more information about how they could be more mindful, how they could be more grounded, how can they approach the world with more compassion, then I'd love to chat with them about this course and how it could be a benefit to them. And the ultimate goal is that we have a more, compassionate society, and learn to, not just coexist, but live side by side and together, in a way where all our needs could be met, right? Wouldn't that be great?
Right. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, I think that I love being able to me, having a dialogue about it is a big step. I mean, I've never met you before, you've never met me. And for people to see that we can have hard conversations and we don't have to know all the answers. You know what I'm saying? We can approach it from, okay, what do we have in common? What do we both want to see? And I had an interesting conversation because I have a Facebook group. And so last night we had our weekly meeting. And one of the ladies, she was Caucasian. She was like, I went and I just feel like, what is it for me to do? What am I supposed to do? And I said, look.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
I'm not out there protesting. Okay. I said, I feel like this is not my, everybody is going to respond differently. I think that you feel like because some people are doing whatever they feel led to do, there's like a pressure that, okay, I got to do something. And I'm like, I have to realize that I'm with my kids. I feel like I have a platform and I can use the platform that I have in a way that I feel can have an impact.
Right.
But I don't necessarily have to follow what everybody else is doing.
Well, I do, because I feel guilty for not going out and protesting. So does that mean I don't care? Does it mean like I'm not? Yeah, but I feel like what I do with Avatar is actually such a constructive way to bring more peace and understanding and compassion in the world, which is really, in my opinion, what we need, right? It's a daily practice.
True.
Exactly.
And it's like a daily practice that can go beyond this time that we're in. You know what I mean? It's just like you may modify, how you bring groceries in your house. We're doing it temporarily, but that may cause you to think about in the future how you're going to do things differently.
I definitely hear what you're saying and everything about the situation beginning with the pandemic and then how it's impacted businesses and our relationships with people and how we conduct like every aspect. Like I want to be more out in nature. I want to spend time, with the people who matter. And I want a more diverse personal life. That's something that I care about personally. And it's interesting because it's been on my mind before this ever happened. Like, I feel like I live in more of a limited world just because of, I just do, I just do, just based on, and I think most people do. And we're like, okay, I live very with homogenous group of people. So, and so now I think we can be on purpose, intentional with, and if that's not for you, that's no biggie, but at least you're aware now. Your awareness is a great thing. But I think that if we can learn to just listen without judgment, appreciate without judgment, which is so hard, that without having a response, without responding, just listen. It's a skill, and you can learn it. You can learn it. You can train yourself. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I would love to have. Yes. Well, I'm glad.
It does. It does. And and because I think, like I try to explain to people is that, we really can't be married to certain outcomes. Because if we're married to certain outcomes, it's like I have in my mind how I want it to be resolved, and I'm not giving other people the freedom to interject a new way of approaching a problem.
I do see what you're saying.
I already have the answer. You see what I'm saying? And so if we say, hey, you know what? Let's just think about solutions. And it's a totally different conversation rather than
right. They already have. Well, that's kind of what social media feels like to me, which is why I don't engage. I have this thing in my head. This is my hashtag. Scroll on by, because, and I'd like credit for that, please. So if you use it, just remember you have. So my whole thing is, it's so tempting to see things and have a reaction and wanting to respond, and even to the things you agree with. It's just they're just like words, and we can get all in our like all up in arms over words that are like just floating by on our smartphones or on our news feed on Facebook, and it's really so not productive in a lot of ways. I love Facebook, but that aspect of it is just my thing is just don't engage. If is it helpful? Is it benefiting anyone? And I try to think to myself, sometimes I respond and then I'm like, okay, delete, like that's not helpful. It's not doing anything. And it's a waste of time. Like, how can I spend my time in a way that's more meaningful? So, and if I get in that space, then I'm like, Leslie, you need to leave, walk away from your phone, walk away from your computer, go do some really some good avatar exercise or meditate and get in the headspace where that you're doing something better for yourself in the world than just having meaningless things on Facebook. So that I think is really hard. It can be helpful, but I think it's also real. It's creating a lot of anxiety for people, like a lot.
Yeah. Now, so you really have a more proactive approach when it comes to dealing with things, and it's I'm sure a lot of it is based on your experiences with the different careers and what you're doing now. So what kind of advice would you give people, maybe a daily routine practice on top of the avatar?
And I think you hit the important thing that it's like anyone who wants to get in shape, right? You can't go once on Saturdays and then expect to be in great shape. You can't. And okay, on Thursday, I'm going to eat well, and then wonder why in a month you haven't had any changes. So the first thing is consistency, whatever practice you have. And I think most of us have skills that we know, and so we have to draw upon them. I think if you have skills, use them every day. If you don't, look around you, look at your world, you know people,
Mm.
talk to someone or reach out to me, reach out to you. You same, you have, and find those people who
Mhm.
seem to be able to navigate this in a way that's, they're okay, and find out what are you using that's helping you get through this, or take a poll. Sometimes I posted on Facebook, give me
Mhm.
your best coping mechanism.
Oh,
Is it
that's good.
meditation? What did I do? Meditation,
Mhm.
walking, yoga. I use some of those free meditation apps.
Mhm.
Reading a personal development book. For some people, it's religion. It's reading. It's obviously you can't go to church or a temple or a or house of
Mhm.
worship, but maybe that grounds you, right? Um, I'm all into therapy. Is
Mhm.
there a professional in your life that you can go to? Get someone who's a
Mhm.
professional to work with you to help you get
Mhm.
those right, who can uh, guide you. So
Mhm.
those are some things that you can do, things that ground you and bring you. Some people it's running, there's a
Mhm.
runners. I have friends who swear that the Peloton has like saved their life during this pandemic,
Mhm.
you know, um, a
Yeah,
friend, a trusted friend, just talking to a
so
friend
true.
every week, or is there someone in your life who you can connect with, who you trust to like help you walk
Mhm.
off that cray ledge? I don't mean, like you're going to jump, just who, and avoiding the
Right.
people who don't help
I
your
know what you
mindset.
mean.
Like I hereby give anyone who's listening to this permission to take some
Mhm.
time away from people who are not helpful in your life. Like, I'm not saying you have to cut them off forever, but like now's the time not to be with those negative
So true.
people and people who spark negative life. You need like to surround yourself with the people who are helpful. Um, those are just
Mhm.
some things.
Mhm. That's some good stuff. Yeah, and I think, just like you said, that we
Yeah.
need to take action to avoid some people, for example, because a lot of times people
Yeah.
just think that they don't have an option. You know what I mean? So it's like you have family or, maybe a friend or whatever, and you just think that, okay, hey, this is how life is. And you don't really recognize
Right.
some of the ways that toxins come in, and you just don't think about it until, just having that time of reflection is important and knowing
Yeah.
you can do
Yeah.
something about it
And like
because a lot of
making
us
yourself
feel
a
helpless
priority, like giving
about
yourself
that.
permission that you are not responsible. Like you need to take care of yourself first right now. And that's
Mhm.
true for always, but especially right now because we are all so susceptible to
Right.
going down,
Mhm.
roads and paths that do not serve us.
Mhm.
And now, I know there's,
Mhm.
rabbit, and I can't do this. It's just I just can't. So, and I do feel
Mhm.
a little bit bad because I want to be there for that person, but
Mhm.
you could always
Mhm.
redirect them to somewhere or something that might be helpful. Um, but for the most part, like,
That's
I
good.
feel like just find the people who you think have great skills and ask them what they're doing.
Mhm. Love that.
Yeah.
And that's good. Now, but a lot of people have time on their hands. What
Ooh.
books or
Um,
podcasts
I
would
read a
you
book
recommend?
recently called The Happiness Advantage. And that was a really great book. And it's interesting because I finished it
Oh.
up just as this pandemic started to like totally unfold in America. And I'll get you the author, I forgot the author's name, but such a good
Oh.
book
Mhm.
um, for what we're going through. And it's just interesting how like I read it at the right time, right? Like it's
Wow.
Isn't it amazing how things like that happen? Like things come into your
Mm-hmm.
life that you totally need, and it almost is like spooky because you're like,
Yeah.
wow, right? I'm like, holy moly, that is amazing.
I,
So that's a book for it's called The Happiness
I
Advantage. I
know.
could tell you more about it, but I thought it was amazing in terms of giving tips. There are so many
Mm-hmm.
authors. Oh my God, like podcasts, not as much. I like Mel Robbins a lot. I think she's awesome. Do you know Mel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
I think she's so
Mm-hmm. Five,
great.
four, three, two, one.
She resonates with me. Maybe because
Mm-hmm.
also she's a lawyer in a former life, and we have a very
Mm-hmm.
similar attitude. She's just like a very
Mm-hmm.
direct woman, but I really, really like her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other books that
Mm-hmm.
is it Brene Brown? She's phenomenal. She's a phenomenal
Brene Brown.
person.
Yeah.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
I she whatever she says
Mm-hmm.
resonates with me. I think she's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful human being. And so for me, I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
she's someone I would follow and check out her books. Because a lot of them have podcasts, a lot of them are on
Mm-hmm.
social media, and so they're constantly giving content. Um,
Yeah.
excuse me. Another one
Mm-hmm.
that is really great is called The
Bless
Miracle
you.
Morning. Have you heard of it? Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it's
Hal
Hal
Elrod.
Elrod.
Or is it the
That's
one with
someone who's great. It's a book,
Jeff
but it's a
Sanders?
practice. And he talks about what you could do every
Okay.
morning.
Okay. That's the book.
And there
Right.
are SAVE.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 things that you could do on a daily basis that can greatly improve your life. And, it involves things like
Mm-hmm.
silence,
Mm-hmm.
exercise, visualizing, and it's an easy read.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like anyone can do it, and they have a big group on Facebook to support you. I think that's something that's really cool to definitely look into. And I think that's definitely worthwhile. I mean, I have a whole bunch, but and then yeah, those are easy, and I think most of these are on
Yeah, those are
Audible.
good ones.
So I use Audible a lot. I just find like when I go for a walk or if I'm in the car, it's
Yeah.
easy. Sometimes when I read, it's at night and I'm
Mm-hmm.
in bed and then I fall asleep after 3 pages. And so like I'm getting nowhere
Mm-hmm.
with the book. So, and I'm like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. I need I need to, this is not working for me. So I like
I know.
Audible, like when I'm folding laundry or, doing dishes
Yeah.
or outside. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just sit outside and listen. I think that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
then of course, if anyone wants to reach out to me about
Mm-hmm.
the Avatar course, I would love to chat. And there's so much we could do. We're doing part of the course
Yes.
virtually, and yeah, so we can chat about that further. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
That is awesome. Now, so
So I am on
tell everybody
Facebook.
what's the best way to get a hold
I'm
of you.
I'm on every day, very out there. And I really post
Mm-hmm.
lots of feel good stuff, so that's good. You're not going to get any
Mm-hmm.
negativity from me, so definitely follow me. So it's Leslie Neiditz, or am I Leslie Orner Neiditz? But
Mm-hmm.
Leslie. My maiden name is Orner
Mm-hmm.
Neiditz. Yeah, Facebook's really good. You can message me, and even if we're not friends, like it'll go into my other box, which I check. Definitely get in contact with me that way. Is there like a
Okay.
link? Are there comments that we could put after this? If we, so I could just put my contact, I can give you my email address,
Yeah,
cell
absolutely.
phone,
Yeah, so
everything.
I can.
And then we can, I can give you that
Mm-hmm.
information too. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Now, and so any final
I
words
think
you
just
want to share
like,
with everybody?
let's just have hope, right? Just, and maybe look for the good things because there really are good things. Can you count so many good
Mm,
things that, like, one of the things that I
yeah.
thought was really hopeful is, I know a lot of people do a gratitude. They like to do gratitude every day, but tweaking that so that, I mean, I find that sometimes when I do like
Mhm.
a daily gratitude, I'm coming
Mhm.
up with the same things. So maybe focus on the gratitude of what happened in the past 24 hours as opposed to just in life in
Right.
general. So maybe it's just, um, you know, the past day. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I read an article of all these people who are doing these things.
Right.
I spent time with my family or I connected with an old friend. So it's very specific to the last thing you did in the last
Mhm.
24 hours. And I think if you could start to make a list of all that happened,
Mhm.
is you start to see more good things, feel better. And there's scientific proof that that is the case.
Mm.
So, and have hope because there really is hope
Mhm.
that nothing good ever comes.
I
Like
love that.
there's always a struggle before the good things happen. So know that right around the corner are some beautiful things that are going to happen.
Mhm. I love that.
You do,
That is so good.
yeah.
I love that point about, when you look for good, you see more good. That's awesome.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Well, great words. Well, Leslie, I am so excited we connected, and I'm so looking
Yeah,
forward to us
I'm
spending
thrilled.
more
I mean,
time together. We're
so
already in a
excited that I
group,
get
so
to
this is
see.
great
This is
to give
one.
us
This is one of
the
my gratitudes for
yeah.
today. Is I got to speak to you and get to know you better. Like, how amazing is that? This would have never have happened, right?
Mhm.
It is.
I know. And you
Thank
said this is your
you.
first time
I
doing a
might have to get
podcast.
my
I
own.
would say you did an amazing job. It's that's what I'm saying. It's so simple. A lot of people, I think it's like being an author or something. We kind of have these preconceived notions like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? But when you just see that it's just you and
Yeah.
your take on life, and it's really an easy thing. Mhm. Mhm. So
You
I
will
am
be
really glad.
on.
So I look
You'll be
forward to
the
us
first one since
collaborating
you
in the
gave
future. If
me
you
an
get a podcast, I'd
opportunity.
love to be on.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, you
Okay. Well,
too.
look, you
All right.
have a
Bye.
wonderful afternoon.
Thank you for joining me on this episode. I really enjoy providing content that inspires and challenges us to be a better version of ourselves. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, please email me at info@lachelleadkins.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, or my YouTube channel. If there was something in this episode that resonated with you, it probably will resonate with someone else. So please share it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. But those aha moments, those moments of really getting something and changing your perspective are very, very pivotal in having people change the trajectory of their lives. And so being able to share insightful information so that other people can grow is the easiest thing that we can do as we pay it forward. So again, I want to thank you all for listening. And if you have time, write out a review. Go to iTunes, Anchor, wherever you can find this podcast on any of those platforms, and write a review about what impact this episode had on you, what you learned, or whatever. Any feedback is great because it just helps me to understand what content is really beneficial for those that are listening. So again, I want to thank you all for your support and taking the time to spend some time with me and my guests. And I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.